Welcome back to part 3 of this look at the add-on Straw Harvest free DLC, now available on console, with me, MrSealyp. So in part 1 we looked at an overview and the balers. In part 2 we looked at the Primos 5000 pellet maker, pellet machine. So what we're looking at in part 3 is the pellet production, the pellet hall. We've got the pellet hall, the pellet hall crane and the pellet hall palletizer. I kind of looked at them very briefly in the first video in part 1, and these are the 3. So if you didn't see part 1, this is the pellet hall, so you can buy it like this, 12 slots on console, and you've just got an open hall. You can use it as a shed, storage space, whatever you want to use it for. You can get the second one, which is the pellet hall crane, and this one comes with the crane assembly and these partition sections here for putting pellets and things like that in. You might just want to use it for manhandling things around. Now, the thing about the crane, I'm going to look at the crane now while we're in the hall, is if we go and access the crane like so, by pressing enter, we get this view top down on the Halsys crane. Halsys crane. If I change view, we've got a few different views of the crane. Now we can move that one around there. This view here is actually not a bad one, because we can get kind of on top of it as well, if we zoom in a little bit, of course, which can make it a lot easier for coming down on top of stuff. And then this one here I quite like as well. I love the fact you've got the flashing light on the end of that as well. It's absolutely incredible. Now, I'm going to open the help window, because on here we've got some options. It says toggle crane tool, so I'll press L1, toggle crane tool, look at the crane over on the right. Actually what we'll do is, let's pick a different view, let's go with that one. So, toggle crane tool, press X, you can have it as a bucket, you can have it as a bale grab, or you can have it as a bale grab, kind of, I suppose, I don't know if you want to do it pallets, wouldn't be any point of having it as a pallet grab. And then if I go R1, it gives me my options for what I'm going to do with this. Now, L1 and R1 does give me an option, we'll have a look at that in a moment, but R1. So, my left stick controls the crane movement along the beam and also along the wall. So I'm going side to side on my left stick, but then up and down on my left stick gives me my movement across the entire hall, and this will go across the entire hall. Zoom back a little bit so we can see. And I'll be honest, the controls do seem very intuitive. It's not difficult to kind of get your head around. I like the fact it goes right the way from one end to the other. This becomes more relevant when you've got the palletizing set up and stuff in here as well. But if we zoom in a little bit, then if I keep my finger on R1 and use my right stick this time, I've got my rotation of my tool and I've got my up and down. Now obviously if you're au fait with the PlayStation controller, you'll be fully aware that trying to do anything without getting rotation and movement when you've got the multi-axis, if you just want to go up and down, trying to get that perfect without getting any rotation can be quite tricky. Now that final one that I was saying, L1 and R1, if I use my right stick now, open and close, opens and closes that grab. So for grabbing hold of bales of whatever it might be, open it up, drop it down, close it on whatever you want, and then up we go, rotation, and then my left stick, combinations of, and you can get all sorts of movement out of the crane. Now if we change crane tool, we've got up and down, rotation, but then if I go L1 and R1, we've got open and close the grab. So if you've got loose pellets in these containers here, let's go, oops, pumped over that. It's because I've gone around the other direction, haven't I? I'm confusing myself. Right. Then up and down. Open it up. Come down into your stuff. Close it up. lift it up, and away you go to dump it off wherever you're going to go. Fantastic. Then the last one being the crane tool for bales, so you can use it as a bale grab, open and close, up and down. It's got a scary kind of spider, isn't it? That's quite terrifying. Paint the middle bit black and you're laughing. Close that up on the bale, up we go, and load it on. So that's the crane, and the crane operation, the crane functions, and the different crane tools that we can be using. So we'll jump out of that. So you press as if you're getting in and out of a vehicle. So that's all up there on the ceiling. And then the last one is the one in here. Now I've got something in here already. I'm going to switch these around in a minute because I want to have multiple setups to show a few different things if I can. So this one has the hull, has the crane, and it has the palletizer. And I showed this very briefly in part 1. We're going to be looking at this in more detail. I've already got something set up here that I want to try. If you didn't see part 1, we do have opening and closing doors, we do have lights. Obviously we've just looked at the crane. Textures are great, that folding door animation is brilliant. Sounds are great, nice mods. These you'll find under placeables, as you might imagine. And they are under, was it sheds? I think it was sheds. So there we go, got the pellet hull, 175,000 for the hull. The pellet hull crane, 250 grand, and the pellet hull palletizer, which gives you everything for 400,000. But you get all of that machinery, all that stuff, everything inside it as well. These are 12 slots each. Was it 12? Let me just have a look. Yes, 12 slots each for the first one placed of each of those. That's the hulls. Bear with me a minute. I'm going to have a bit of a swap round, get a few resources together, and we'll have a look at some operation within the hulls themselves. So after having a look at them, what I'm going to do now is try the system, try the palletizing system, and how does it work. I've got a few things set up. So what I've done is replace the two that I had there, the one that was the hull and hull with crane, with all of these now have palletizers. This one on the end is going to be for loose, and I've got hay pellets in this one, but I've also got the conveyor belt going into here. This is the one that came with root crop storage by Top Ace 888, and this one will pick up from the ground. This is the Quantum ALX, I think it is, under belt systems, yeah, ALX. So that came with a pack. I'm sure it was Top Ace 888. So what I'm going to do is unload onto the ground here, have that on pick up, so that should pick up, go straight into there, and off it goes. That's the theory. We'll try that in a minute. This one in here has also got loose, so what we're going to do is use the crane with the grab, picks them up, take it along, drop it in. What I'm also going to try is with the bucket, we'll bucket load into here. Now I'm pretty sure this turns on automatically. It's not giving me an option to turn on the machine, but that does say today's output until now, 0 bags, 0 pallets. Supply lasts for however many minutes and seconds, so how much we got in the hopper will tell you how much it's got left. And the fill level, which at the moment is unknown. So you've got the bags all there. It will come round through, fill the bags. These will then come up onto here. Now, my dad worked in the print industry for 40 plus years, and these palletizers had these robots, and it would take bundles of magazines and it would do them in turns. So you'd have 3 stacks one way, 2 another, then the next pile it would go 3 the other way, 2 the other way, and this thing would do it. That would be doing all the turning would be done by a robot. Not originally when he first started out, it was all done by hand, but then they moved on to palletizers, and that's how it worked. And then it will shrink wrap it, and it should come out here good to go. So let's get cracking then, shall we? I'm going to try first of all, probably slightly more unconventional, but let's turn this on. I think the belt's turned on. We'll see in a minute when we unload. this one's got hay pellets, 10,000 litres. Let's swing through the wall there. Unload some onto the ground. I don't seem to take up a lot of room, and I'm worried they're disappearing. Oh, it's taken them already. I'm thinking, what's happening? The belt was turned on. It has already taken them, and it has already loaded them. That's incredible. Okay. So that's all gone into here. They're going up into there. And we're getting bags. Look. It's working. Seals the bags off. Like that. Drops it off. Onto here. Turns them. So that's what does the turning. So it'll put 3 one way. Then 2 the other. Like that. Pushes them onto there. Onto the pallet. And then the next load it will do the other way round. How cool is that? That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, this for such a long time since I've been playing the game is one of those. It's one of those dream mods. It's the one. You know, there are a whole load of them like this that do all sorts of things, and people said it will never happen. It will never come. There are scripts. There are this, that, and the other. Creative Mesh have proved it can be done. Yes, you have to work with giants, and you know they'll do a little bit. And if they add the scripts into the base game, they can get it to work. Right. So what will this now say? Let's open up my menu again. So that says today's output until now: 18 bags. The supply will last for another 18 minutes, 17 seconds, and my fuel level of hay pellets is 4,930 and dropping. That's so cool. I can't believe it. So what we've got to wait for now is a full pallet, and then we'll see it. Where does it do the shrink wrap? What does it do on the machine here? Curious now. We've got another layer to go. We'll see another pallet going to as well. I mean, we've got loads more to do, but this is brilliant. Can't be another layer. How many layers are there? This one keep chugging away for ages. Now it's shrink wraps, is it? That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right, well that's working, so we know that's all going as it should do. So conveyor belt tipping onto the floor, up into the hopper, works no problem at all. Next up then, this is where it all gets interesting because I'm going to try and use the crane. Let's change view. Let's go with, where's going to be a good view? Probably nowhere near me. Right, so let's go. So We want to go that way. That way. Do I want to go down? Probably don't need to. Open it up. And in we go. I used the crane! How cool is that? I'm so happy. Right, okay. So that's the crane. Let's jump out of that. Now we'll try it with this. Probably could do with a smaller vehicle in all honesty. This is rather massive to be in here, but oh, it's awesome. Open the menu. This one should be straw. Straw pallets. 12 minutes to go on this. 19 bags made so far. Absolutely. In fact, the detail on the bags. Wow. Incredible. Right, so I know it works like that. Next test then is going to be using this in here. So rather than bringing pellets in, what I'm going to do is do it with bales. So the theory being that I set this up indoors because the weather's inclement or we're not in harvest season, and I can just bring bales in from elsewhere if I've got them stored somewhere or I've bought them from somewhere or whatever it might be. So what we'll do is let's open this out and hope we've got enough room. Hope it fits. Okay, start launching the tractor, start the belt up. You can already see the little lugs on here. Get them there. They're already moving. So as you drop the bale on, they hook onto those lugs, and that, as that belt gradually moves along, takes the bales and they go. Now I could put these on. No, it's supposed to go on sideways, isn't it? Right, let's go one this way. So I'll grab the crane mat. Haven't used it in ages. It's nice and small, fits in here really well. So this should go through the whole process in here. Oh, no, hang on. Oh, that's interesting. Right. This wasn't on the belt properly. Doesn't seem to like that at all. So I'm not on the little connector things properly. Okay, that's weird. So this worked perfectly well outside. It doesn't seem to like it inside. Again, could be my loading, but let's be honest. If you've got to be that precise to load the bales on, it may just be because I'm trying to use it indoors. That could be why. Now that has to be pellets that go into that hopper. And that's what makes me a little bit sceptical, because we've got the bale grab on the crane, which means if you had a load of bales stored in here, you should be able to set this up to do this. Although I've now got that bale right in the way. Yep, it's just my loading, because that's now moving. Problem is I can't get that out of the way, can I? Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, hang on, maybe I can. What I'll do is, let's jump in that, change my view, We'll change the that. Let's change it to that. Something gets to work, shall we? Maybe not. Get a little spider going. I'm using the crane properly as well. So what I can do then, technically, inadvertently, having done this, which was not my intention. What do I want to do? No. Oh, that's interesting. That automatically turned it. So if I drop the bale on the wrong way round, that's just turned. Now that again, that was not intentional. But we have managed to put a bale on in a way that I didn't intend, and it is all working indoors, right? So let's go. Where did I put the other ones? Oh, they will be miles over there. Let's try and take that round, take that right out. Come around a little bit. I am blown away by this. Just get that open. Ha 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 ha! Yes! Get in. Right. Let's move that out of the way. And we'll get out of the crane. And we are doing it. I wonder, just as a theory, as a test, let's stick one in this end. Just shows you a few different ways you can have a go at it, a few different things you can try to make it a little bit easier, or easier or harder. So I don't know whether it just took it off that and rotated it because it was coming off the crane, which is inbuilt and designed to be that way, or whether if I put one in this way on, it will automatically turn it round. Let's see, shall we? Or is it going to flip the whole thing off? Nope, it's turning it. That is awesome. Absolutely fantastic. So, it will work by putting pellets in by conveyor, it will work by bucket, it will work by grab, it will do bales off of this in, it will do bales from the crane in. There we go. First pallet off there. Now, how many pallets do we end up with off this one? Which is where we started out, didn't we? 2 full pallets and not quite a full one here. Oh, it's still going, is it? It's still chucking away. Right, how long have we got left on this one? Another 5 minutes. 123 bags, 2 pallets done. Fantastic. And let's whiz in and have a look at the other one. So what we'll do, we'll finish off by taking the pallets. Right. Let's move this out of the way. Have a quick look in here. So the tops of these, it's open so you can see what they are. These are the hay ones. And what I wanted to try last of all was whether or not, as with the other pallets, the big bag handler would indeed handle them. So this is the whole palletizing situation in full swing. And what you can do is you can store your pallets back in there if you want to, leave them in your building. We'll see what the capacities are of these, and then we'll go to the sell point. Oh, it could be because there's no effort to go, that's probably why. The whole process has stopped, so... Oh, it does. Oh, that is brilliant, although... Oh no, doesn't seem too bad. Now the process is going to carry on, is it? Yep, it stopped because the pallets were in the way. Okay, so we've got our pallet of hay pellets. Label on the back as well. Packing list, invoice, QRF code. So the last thing of this pack is the sell point itself. Now, sell points will work. Some are configured, but what we will do is very quickly. I don't know why I'm saying very quickly at all. We want this menu here. We want to go along to placeables under miscellaneous. The pallet sell point 500. This was how many sell points? It was 4 slots, only 4, which is absolutely fantastic. Now I've already placed one. So if we come out and we go into the menu here, and we look at our sell points, because I'm on no man's land, there's the vehicle shop grains is already here. There's the pallet sell point you can see there I've put in, and there's the edge grain vault I've got somewhere else on the map. Now if we scroll across, so we get to the end, which is where they are, the pallet sell point and the edge grain vault are set up for this, and look at the prices of the pallets. So it's well worth doing. And the vehicle shop grains, which is the standard one in game on the map, doesn't have anything in place for this yet. So some of the sell points will already have it, some maps will probably have it. So what we'll do now, let's pop that down. That's interesting. Do I need to do something with that? Ooh, let's have a look. Probably don't want to be cutting that with a... Why is that not selling? That is the sell point. Unless the trigger's not working. Did I not place it properly? Right, let's try another one. Let's pop it down. Now, does it need to come up or down? No, it's not giving me the option to raise or lower it. Change placement height. Does say top right hand corner Palletiser stopped. I'll place another one. Okay, that's got me a little bit flummoxed. Palletiser empty, Palletiser stopped. Oh, hang on. 3,095 for one pallet. Okay, it obviously just wasn't quite in the right place. It took it, obviously just needed it to be up or down or around or whatever. But anyway, that's it. It's working. The palletizers are working in various different ways, whether it's loose, whether it's hay, whether it's straw, whether it's off a conveyor belt, the crane, whether it's off of the whole system here. It is working. It does work. The animations are fantastic. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Creative Mesh have done a fantastic job. And that's it from me. That's end of part 3. I hope you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form. I can't stop smiling, it's brilliant. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.